And then he had an awful helicopter crash on the ranch. He used to love flying helicopters also, and he had a really old helicopter. And he said he figured it was so old he needed to get rid of it, but he didn't mean to bring it down. And he crashed, and the whole thing burst into flame. He was covered with burns over most of his body, and had to run and jump into a lake nearby just to put the flames out. He had a lot of lives. He lived every second of his life. He didn't like public speaking. He was never heard him address more than a few people, but when he had a small group of people, whether it's men or women, but a handful of 4, 6, 8 people, he was the life of the party. I was with him for the last 15 years of his life on a weekly basis, so I would ask him every now and then, can you give me advice? What were you doing when you were 45 or 40 or 50? And he would say, no, you're doing fine, just keep it up. But if he ever did give me advice, it was, don't pass it up. Peter, whatever it is, don't pass it up. There were great stories about Lucia. She was a remarkable woman, and they had a remarkable marriage. It was a terrific marriage. He loved the ranch. He must have gone to the ranch as his main passion in life. Certainly the last 15 years, or probably since '59. He was very short in terms of his words, but he was formal and elegant and respectful, and he said a lot in a few words, like Abraham Lincoln said, if I had more time, I'd send you a shorter letter. There's a picture of John smiling in the boat with the wind blowing what hair he had left back, and he writes it, and it was the picture that he had on his bedside table the night he died. It was by Lucia's side of the bed, and it's a picture of John, and on it he wrote, Lucia, darling, how could I be so, underlined, lucky? John. Whenever I would say, how are you, John, he would say, the better for seeing you, which is a great line because it immediately makes you feel empowered and like a great person because you're making him feel better, but a very elegant way of saying it. Nice thing you try it on to people, they'll smile. He did that a lot, better for seeing you. Or he would say, shot in the ass for luck. Well, John's certainly the most important person in terms of influence in my life. He led by example. He was a friend. I don't know whether he was my grandfather, my father, my best friend, or, towards the end of his life, my son, and obviously, because I took care of him towards the end and walked him out to the car the last night of his life, holding on to him. But he was just a fabulous spirit in my life, as he was to many people. At the Celebration of Life, we had 100 people there that came from all over the country that wanted to be there. I think his spirit lives on. In fact, we get together every January 30th and June 13th to honor him, and there are a bunch of guys that get together and tell John Myers stories. So I think his spirit lives on. It certainly lives on in me. I think about him every day and count my blessings that I knew him every day, and his grandsons now. So I think that his spirit lives on through his friendships. But and General Yeager started his remarks, and General Yeager's a hero. So there were 2,000 people there listening to his remarks, and he gave a great speech. But he started off the speech by saying, he said, pilots are egotistical people, and we all think we're pretty damn good. But amongst pilots, there's one hero, and he's right here in front of me. And then John Myers, everybody gave applause. So John was a legend amongst pilots. He was flying in Iceland. He was with Lucia and another couple in Europe, and he flew into this airport late at night. I got the impression that it was either after dark or in twilight hours. And he let the other people go up to the rooms, and he put the plane away, and he went to the bar for a drink. And he said to the bartender, he said, please put some ice in a glass and add some vodka. And the guy looked back at him and he said, sir, you're asking for a crystal yum-yum. And that's the way John told the story. John always would put his head up and tell it with that same inflection, sir, you're asking for a crystal yum-yum. So he's famous for crystal yum-yums, and a couple of funny, people all over the world know him for that. And I remember hearing a story about two fellow bohemians who didn't know each other, but they were in Asia, and somebody at the bar said, can I have crystal yum-yum? And the other guy heard it and said, you must know John Myers.